What are the best altcoins to buy right now that have not yet exploded that you can take advantage of today? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. So let's get right into the video here, guys. So first and foremost, let's just talk about where Bitcoin is at in its cycle right now, and is there still upside? Also, where is Ethereum and altcoins in their cycle, and is there still upside? Then I'll give you what my top safety plays are in the market right now, and then I'll give you some more high risk ones that I think are about to go on monumental runs, and we'll talk about those towards the end of the video. If you're brand new here to the channel, my name is Fous. I've been trading for 20 fucking years, a long time. I've made multiple seven figures in the crypto markets by turning a small amount of money into a large amount of money. So if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button right now. Let's get into what's going on with Bitcoin. First and foremost, Bitcoin came down, tapped into demand absolutely perfectly right down in this zone, and then we were just off to the races. During that dip, we were loading up and accumulating altcoins right down here. Now that was mostly me accumulating some of my safety plays, but we also got into plays like Deep, where we just picture perfectly nailed this fucking bottom right down in that zone all the way up here. Now, you're wondering how that actually works. It's my quantum cipher system. And in my quantum cipher system, every Monday I send out this list of all the coins I'm looking to buy into. And most of the time, they're weeks in advance of us trying to get into these plays before they ever actually come into fruition. Such as Beam here, we were looking for a Beam to come all the way back down into this weekly demand zone so we could buy in. What do? We bought into Beam on that weekly demand zone. It's the same thing that happened with Deep or any of our other altcoins. So it's important that you're anticipating the markets to come to you. Most traders are panicking in fear as Deep is just getting absolutely destroyed, where if you want to be a professional trader, you have to wait for the market to come to you. And you don't chase the market, you wait for that dump to happen and come to you so you can scoop up that position and then not be panicking and stopping out rather than riding the next wave up. Because this is just how trading works in a nutshell. We manipulate retail traders, and then smart money comes in, buys, and then we rip things to the upside. I don't make the rules. That's just how the game works. So you either learn how to play it correctly or you lose. So that's what we need to figure out here is what are the situations and coins that are in a situation where we can still win and we're not going to get manipulated by smart money crypto big boys. Okay. So first and foremost, let's just get back to Bitcoin here. Where are we at? Price came down in there. Now we've already gone on a mega run for Bitcoin already. So I believe that probably a big chunk of the move is already over. What we need to happen now is a consolidation and a reset for us then to have a continuation to the upside. That could come in many different factors. It could come down all the way down into this weekly demand zone, consolidate and bounce, and then rip to the upside. We could just have a bull flag up here at ATH and then rip to the upside. We've seen that kind of move time and time again, where we did see small consolidations after the breakout and then a mega rip to the upside, because this was similar, right? New low created, mega run into ATH, then breakout. Boom. Right? New low created, mega run into ATH, consolidation, and then breakout. So we might see a similar move like this here on Bitcoin, but to new ATH, potentially upwards of 125 to 150,000 on this next run. And of course, we do need that to happen. Bitcoin either needs to remain sideways or up for altcoins to have a continuation in their markets. If Bitcoin does see a pullback, a big one, then altcoins are going to get crushed and we're all shit out of luck. Kind of like what happened here, where Bitcoin did not see continuation or a flag to the upside. It saw a 33% pullback, which resulted in a 70 to sometimes 90% pullback in altcoins. So you need to kind of factor in what Bitcoin has to do in order to get that alt season that we want to. So let's just talk about kind of what my safety plays are. And these are all spot positions that I picked up in my Kraken account. First and foremost, we got into Bitcoin right here. Now, I was trying to buy in right here, but I didn't have money in my Kraken because I usually trade on Femex, my futures account, which is here. And so I wanted to pick up some spot bags as everything was dumping, and I didn't have money deposited on my Kraken. So as soon as I'm trying to get money in my Kraken, they're like, okay, yes. Oh, well, we need some more confirmation. So by the time I got confirmation again, Bitcoin had already gone down here and then all the way back up. And you'll see the 1 week split of me getting some money in here and then me having to wait for confirmations again during the dip. So Ethereum, we bought pretty good down here. And my safety plays are essentially what are the US government crypto reserve. That's Bitcoin, Solana, XRP, ADA. I think those are them. Solana, yeah, 5 of them. And I also picked up some other ones. But we got into Solana down here in the 120s in my spot or my futures account because I already had my money accessible. Our plan was to buy under $100. We got in right around $99 on that dip. Why? Because it dipped right into a perfect demand zone. So Solana, I think, is an awesome safety play. XRP, again, we bought in here, sat here and tried to buy in right here. I actually scooped up a little bit on my futures at 161. Spot, I didn't get back in until about $2 per coin. Sui, we got a perfect entry here down at 220. ADA, we got in twice here with 66 and 619. Also picked up some ton down here, as well as Beam down here at 0.06. But the main safety plays, I would say, during this run and any crypto run going forward are going to be the crypto reserve that the US has designated. I think those are just like, they're safe in the sense that the US government is essentially unlabeling them as whatever securities into saying these are good, we're going to actually put these in our reserve. So that's good to see. Those things will probably survive the best. It's kind of like how you've seen XRP hold itself up. While a lot of altcoins, such as like Beam, dropped 88%, XRP held up and didn't see a massive decline. Same with Solana. Ethereum actually did have a big decline, but a lot of the coins that were in the reserve didn't see as big as damages as most of the altcoin market. So those are kind of my safety plays. And I do think these have a lot of high potential, especially if we start breaking out all-time highs. Now, there's a pattern called the force pattern. And if we look at others, which is total crypto market cap outside the top 10, this is what we call a force pattern breakout. A long-standing ascending triangle breakout with the market cap stuck here at about 450 to 500 billion. If this actually breaks out on a long-term scale here above 500 billion, this could easily pump to 100 to 1 trillion. I definitely do believe that. And that's just on the analysis of charts. I don't care what's going on in the market. If that breaks out, that could signal a major move where the fundamentals don't even begin to matter. Just hype and hysteria overtake and just the physics of supply and demand, where there's so many shorts getting squeezed out here, it causes a chain reaction of an event that creates this huge parabolic move after a breakout, and there's no supply back here creating resistance for price to not be able to go higher. Okay, so that is a situation that is potential where price is down after the pump right back into demand zone. We are in a premium buying opportunity area down here, right? I call this the golden zone of entering into these patterns because we are back in that zone of bouncing off support, and there's already a lot of RR to gain just to get back to that high. And then once that high breaks, this is where all the retail idiots start chasing, where smart money started to buy down here. Okay, so we're still relatively low in the actual altcoin cycle if we're looking at what is the long-term goal of this cycle, and that is to break out of the $500 billion market cap above ATH of this force pattern and potentially go, anywhere from 600 easy target upwards of 1 trillion just for the altcoin market outside of the top 10, right? The others outside of the top 10, this is where a lot of the degenerate altcoins are. These are the ones that are going to drop 70 to 90% when Bitcoin pulls back 30%. So yes, they are extremely dangerous, but they will also come with the highest 5 to 50x returns depending on which coin does what. So let's just talk about some of those that we are in currently on the Quantum Cipher report. These are all the live trades right now. One is Mocha. Mocha Brands is one that's backed by Yatsui. He's the guy behind Animoca Brands. I actually had him on my podcast. So Mocha is one that I like. We've seen Mocha have crazy price action before, where this went from 8 cents upwards of 48 cents in a single pump, basically. So we just bought back into Mocha. Why is that erase? Right down here in this demand zone, we call this a revival breakup pattern. First target 16 cents, second 22. After that, it's just trend following until who knows how high this thing can pump. Again, Bitcoin has to cooperate. We can't have a major, end to the bull market here. We do need to see Bitcoin pumping to the upside. Next up, we have Beam. Love me some Beam. Beam is nice and juicy, looking ready like a perfect revival pattern. We actually traded this revival pattern last time, right? To the upside, we bought into Beam down here and then rode this thing all the way up and then finally stopped out back here at about 30 cents or so after the bull market was over. Nobody wanted to believe the bull market was over, but I called it on January 8th on Twitter. You can go look at it. I'll even show a screenshot of it here, and nobody wanted to believe it. And then altcoins dumped 90%. So all I do in my system is look for the big cycles and how can we identify when they're starting, how can we accumulate when they're beginning, and then how do we get out before we give it all back in a 90% drop, which most people do because most people don't want to believe that it's over before it's way too late. So all I'm trying to do is capture each cycle, and we're having another cycle here on Beam. Next up is Ondo, RWA token. Ondo has always been a top performer when markets are pumping. So, and it's also held itself pretty well if we're looking at the weekly chart here. We rode this pump last time all the way up and then locked in gains. Didn't capture a lot of it because it saw such a big pullback so dramatically, but we're in the same situation before because we rode up this gain also and this gain. I made 100K on this push right here. Okay, so there's lots of different cycles, but they only come every like 3 to 6 months. And so we just have to capture it while it happens. And we can see a lot of times it's always short-lived. So we'll see what happens in this one, but we bought into Ondo down here at about 90 cents. It's still consolidating within the breakout point. It's not even above the actual breakout market between 110 to 120. So I still think there's a lot of upside potential and still room for this to be bought here before it potentially goes up to 2 and beyond to break out all-time highs. Next up, FHE. The reason why I like this one so much, I don't even know what the fuck FHE is. All I know is that this is in a Kryptonite breakout pattern. A Kryptonite breakout pattern is a recent ICO or IDO that's trading on DEX or centralized exchanges, and it has not broken out to a new ATH yet within like the first like 90 days. It forms up a triangle break consolidation pattern, and as soon as that breaks out to the upside, we typically see 50 to 200% rapid gains in a very short amount of time. Just instant push all the way up. I'm expecting this to go 20 to 30 cents on this run. If it breaks out above these highs, we've already bought in at demand here down about 8 to 9 cents. If this pumps over ATH, there's no supply here. There's no resistance here. It's just going to be one massive short squeeze, one hysteria buying pump for us to take and capture before we can lock in gains. But we're still pre-breakout. We're still early on this, still plenty of time before this thing actually just pumps. Another one of those is Sine, S-I-N-E. We got into Sine perfectly down on this dip under 8 cents as it dipped into this demand zone. Same situation, recent IDO. We're waiting for this thing to break ATH. And as soon as that does, compress into the nose of this triangle, then break out ATH to uncharted territory, it's all blue skies ahead. Again, it's just a short squeeze, hysteria, buying in, no resistance or supply telling us we cannot go higher. So I expect a 50 to 200% rapid gain here on SINE. We also have 3 that are mostly traded on DEX. I picked these up on Uniswap. It's PAL, Desync, and Node. These are all basically AI companies. PAL, perfect revival pattern setting up here. We also have Alex Becker, who's backing these verbally, financially. I have no idea, but he said he's about to make a YouTube video of which I'm sure he's going to pump these all, right? So Destra, GPU, all in the same exact pattern, revival pattern, pre-breakout, under 60 cents here on GPU, Node AI. Desync, also pre-breakout, under 25 cents. This is looking like a beautiful area to be buying into. There's also Palm, which is actually looking like in a fake breakout. I do not have any Palm right now, but a similar situation on Palm AI. And I know Becker is probably about to pump this one as well. So it's also good to understand what is Becker about to pump to be part of that in case these do pump, which they probably will. So those are kind of my top plays right now that I'm long. here. Then I also have, those are mostly on my Femex account. Then I also have my spot bags on my Kraken account with kind of my safety plays. Then I have the additional Sui, Beam, and Ton. All of these are still pre-breakout, still very early in these patterns. The only concern that I have here is that Bitcoin has already gone on a big run. And I do expect that we will see some sort of pullback, some sort of shakeout of retail before we see the continuation up. I don't doubt that there's going to be some sort of shakeout before we see the actual next leg up. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's something you should always be prepared for. Anyways, guys, if you want to trade with Femex, there's $2,700 in sign-up bonuses. That's who I trade with futures. Also, if you want to get funded up to 200K for crypto, we also have Hydra funding where you can spend, I think a 200K account costs like $2,000. You got to pass the challenge. And then if you do, you have access to trade $200,000 in capital, which is a game changer. Because if you're trading with like a $5,000 to $10,000 account, let's be honest, you're not going fucking anywhere in your life. And you're going to swing for the fence to try to turn that small amount of money into a lot of money. You're going to lose it all. You're going to wish, fuck, I wish I had 200K to trade with instead of 5K or 2K. Okay, so that's the benefit of crypto funding. If you got a fuckload of cash, I recommend using Femex, or over 20 to 50K. Femex is a pretty solid place to trade. Okay, but also, lastly, I got my brand new Quantum Cipher mentorship that just dropped. There's gonna be a link below. It's application only. We're only letting people in who apply and that we approve and think that they are a good fit. It's 20 years of my trading experience compact in a all new course, 2 times per month, weekly live sessions with me. We also have the Quantum Cipher report sent out every Monday, and all brand new courses, like 40 to 50 hours of brand new trading tactics to actually make this work for you. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, guys. We got a lot of videos coming. Bull market could be just beginning. Let's fucking go.